Some people get lost in nature chasing sunsets. I got lost on the PCT taking a poop break. It's been 6 months and I'm finally ready to talk about it. I think. Hey y'all, I'm Jeffrey, and today I am sharing one of the most embarrassing and surprisingly common hiking mistakes that I've ever made. That's right, I got lost while pooping on the PCT. Well, while pooping, but when I stepped off the trail to poop. It was funny for, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, but then it got awkwardly serious. So stick around to hear the full story and a few hiking safety tips that you can take away to help you avoiding the same fate. I learned the hard way so that you don't end up getting lost on a hike while pooping like I did. Okay, so here's the scene. It's day, I don't know what, of my 2024 Pacific Crest Trail thru hike, and I'm cruising along the PCT. I feel great. The views, they're stunning. And then nature calls. Not the like, enjoy the scenery kind of nature call, but the number 2, you gotta go right now kind. So I stepped off the trail to find some privacy. No big deal, right? At this point, I had been on the trail for quite a while, so it was par for the course at this point. But just as I was getting, I found a spot, I started digging a hole, and just as I thought I was ready for action, I looked over and I saw like the holy grail of bathroom spots. Okay, are you ready for this? Get this, all right? It was 2 downed trees. So first of all, a downed tree in the right spot is a great thing to find because you can sit on it kind of like a toilet and like hang your butt off the back of it. That's for another video. But anyway, a downed tree is a really good thing to find. I found what? Not 1, but 2 downed trees perfectly positioned next to each other. One perfectly to be a seat and the other one to be a back with like opening between. We're talking perfect nature poop situation. It does not get much better than that. So I left that spot that I had initially identified and went to this new spot. Now these 2 downed trees, they were just like perfectly positioned to act as a seat and a backrest. And so I think to myself, hey, you've hit the jackpot. So I walked over and I'm gonna realize later that that's where the trouble happened. That is when I lost my sense of where I was that unexpected extra movement from the first poop spot to the second poop spot. I was so focused on finding the perfect spot that I didn't realize I kind of lost track of where the trail was in my mind. I mean, it's a rookie move, right? But it still happened. So I go through the whole rigmarole of getting everything out and set up and ready and digging my hole, and I'm there. I'm in the moment, all set up and ready to go, and nothing. It was a total false alarm. It was a bunch of effort for 0 results. I had nothing to give, nothing came out. So I laughed it off, packed up my stuff, and I started heading back to the trail, or at least I thought that I was heading back to the trail. Spoiler alert, obviously, I wasn't. I walked and I walked, but no trail. At first, I laughed. I mean, come on, like I knew that I hadn't stepped that far away from the trail. How could I lose the trail? And did I really get lost pooping? Like, how am I gonna explain this to my family? It's ridiculous, right? But after about 10 minutes, it stopped being funny. I was officially like, well, it moved from me being like cute lost to being like lost. And the reason I was lost was for some reason, both my phone and the GPS on my Garmin inReach Mini 2, it wasn't working. Well, they were both working, but it had me in the wrong location. And so they were useless. Did I have a compass? No. Did I have a physical map? No. Both my phone and my GPS were, on the fritz. So there was nothing for me to do other than walk around trying to keep my wits about me to find this trail. And that's when I started to feel it, that like sense of panic. I mean, I stayed calm, but it wasn't easy. I was officially kind of starting to panic, to be honest. Now, let me tell you, there's a moment when you realize that you are like actually lost, and it's not cute. I started, walking too quickly, and my brain started running through all the worst case scenarios. Like, what if I can't find the trail? What if I have to, what if I have to sleep out here tonight? That's not a big deal. I was used to that. What if I die and my obituary reads lost while pooping? I mean, they're going to have to mention the cause of death, right? So I knew I had to come up with a strategy, but before I could really panic, something pretty amazing happened. My phone GPS suddenly, out of nowhere, just decided to start working again. I had turned it off and on multiple times, but I don't know, the 7th or 8th time, for some reason, finally did the trick. And the trail was nowhere near where I thought it was. I was completely turned around. But once I had my bearings, I made a beeline back to the trail and, reflected on the lessons learned, the crisis averted. It was a non-event in the end, but I mean, what a great reminder of how easy it is to lose your way in the wilderness. That day taught me a critical safety lesson. Always trust your tools, stay calm, and don't underestimate how quickly and how easily things can turn around and go sideways. Even when you think you know what you're doing, you can still make a small blunder like that. So what's the takeaway? First of all, always mark the spot where you leave the trail. If you can leave, your bandana or your pack or a trekking pole or literally anything visual that you can see from, a short distance away, that's going to help you find your way back to the trail. Second, look back as you walk away from the trail. Things look very different when you're trying to retrace your steps going the way back to the trail. So as you're leaving the trail, if you're going more than a handful of steps, just make sure you're looking back so you know what it looks like from the other way. It sounds silly, but it makes a big difference. And third, I would suggest investing in a reliable GPS device. I mean, even though it temporarily went on the fritz for me, I would never leave home without that thing. Let me grab it. Hello. Hey, if you are sitting there thinking, I want to travel more, I want to go on more adventures, come with me. I host trips around the world. We've been hiking in Patagonia. We went looking for the Northern Lights in Iceland, trekking in Nepal, camping in Banff, Canada, in the Canadian Rockies. We do it all, and we have a real good time. Everyone's welcome, and all the details for any current trips, just click that little bubble up in the top corner or go to my website, jjb.life/travel. And we almost always make at least one group cringy TikTok. So come hang out with us. We're a real good time. Okay, this is the Garmin inReach Mini 2. First and foremost, it is a GPS device, but it comes with a lot of other really great features. The one that is probably most popular is that it connects with your smartphone and gives you the ability to send and receive text messages from anywhere on the planet that has an open view of the sky. So that's pretty incredible. And it also allows you to pull weather reports as well. Highly recommend these things. It's not going to be too long before our cell phones are going to replace these, but I think we're still at least a handful of years away from that. I would never, ever do a thru-hike without one of these. It was great. Really great. And it's not only for backpacking, it's not only for the outdoors. If I had a child who was studying abroad or doing something like that, I would also send one of these with them. I said first and foremost, text. That's not first and foremost. First and foremost, it is an SOS emergency beacon. This little thing opens up and you can push that button to activate search and rescue from anywhere on the planet. You can talk to them through here and they will coordinate your rescue. So that's also nice to have peace of mind that you've got, a way to communicate even when you typically wouldn't. I take this on road trips even. I got caught in a blizzard in Colorado. The interstate closed down and they were diverting us all off of the interstate into this tiny little town, and I didn't have cell phone reception, and this was the only way I could communicate with my family. So anyway, Garmin inReach Mini 2, highly recommend this. I'm sure it'll get mentioned elsewhere, but if you're interested in any of the gear that I've mentioned, the links to all of that is in the video description below. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, that's hilarious, how stupid, that would never happen to me. Well, let me tell you this, the number one reason that people get lost in nature, or the number one scenario which leads people to get lost in nature, is leaving the trail, diverting from the trail, and then not being able to find it again. And what is the number one most common reason that people are leaving the trail? To go to the bathroom. So if you're sitting there judging, if you think this is a ridiculous story that could never happen to you, it's a lot more common than you think. So next time you pop off that trail to go to number 2 or number 1 or do anything, make sure that you pay attention to where the trail is and mark it if you can. So that's my embarrassing story of getting lost while pooping and whatever lessons it taught me. If you've ever had a similar close call, share those in the comments. Or if you haven't, I would pop down to the comments anyway, because I bet there's going to be some doozy of some stories down there. So let's swap tips and laughs. And hey, if you want to be prepared for your next hiking or backpacking adventure, check out the links in my description for all the recommended thru hiking gear, including the Garmin inReach Mini that I showed you earlier. And also, I host group trips. They're perfect for any outdoor enthusiast like you, and you can find all the details below. If you enjoyed this video, or if you just want to laugh at more of my misadventures, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, happy trails, y'all, and don't forget to mark the trail when you head off to poop. Want to watch another video? Click here. Want to learn more about my upcoming trips? Click here. Want to subscribe and like all my videos and turn those bell notifications on?